The 50 blood transfusions I received definitely saved my life.
Blood saved my life. I mean, I was down to a quarantine.
We got a call in the middle of the night that he's not going to make it through the night. He needs a blood transfusion.
That day in the hospital, I received 5 units of blood, and if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be talking to you today.
My name is Angel Sueta Flores, and the reason I get blood is because I have a disease called pyruvate kinase deficiency, and what that means is my red blood cells break. I'm anemic. I need blood transfusion every 2 to 3 months, and I get tired really easily, and I lose a lot of energy really quickly.
Well, a couple years ago, I found out that I was anemic, and I had never known anything about it, family history, anything like that, and I ended up needing a blood transfusion on Mother's Day.
Just before her second birthday, when she was about 22 months old, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and almost overnight she stopped walking and got very, very ill and was extremely anemic. And at first, the doctor just thought it was a cold, but when we realized how serious it was, we were pretty much rushed straight to the hospital.
The transfusions happened that night. They just started the transfusions right away as soon as she got there. They basically told us if we'd have waited another hour or two to admit her, it might have made a difference. So.
Pocket full of dreams and full of 7 miracles. Ever since I was a baby, I was sick. Oh no, and the doc said I was gonna die for sure. But then the Lord gave me strength, and my mom she prayed, and everything was a-okay. Couple days later, I was right back. That sickness hit me like a heart attack. Got 3 surgeries before I turned 1, and I know my mom feels bad that this happened to her son, but that's the way life goes. Anything can happen for sure.
People that don't think they ever need to donate blood or will ever need it, don't think about what could happen in the future. If you have a car accident, if you get really sick and you bleed through a surgery, you never know what can come today, what can come tomorrow. You never know. If you have a baby that gets sick, you never know what could happen.
If we hadn't had extra blood for Ellie, she wouldn't have survived that night.
I don't think she would have survived that first night. I mean, she was just half gone.
You never know when someone's going to need it. You never know when you're going to need it. So I think it's incumbent on all of us to help make sure that there is that blood supply when it's needed.
I became a blood donor when I was 18. They had a blood drive at my school, and my mother and I went together and we donated blood, and it just amazed me that I was able to help somebody and not have to know them, not have to have any connection to them, but know that it was something that was really helping them out in a way that maybe I couldn't do on my own.
I donate blood actually with either 1 or 2 of my daughters. It's sort of a ritual, and my daughter told me at one point, said, "Dad, why don't you donate blood?" So I said, "Why don't we do it together?" We've been doing it for years, and it also means that we'll go out to breakfast or lunch after donating blood. But to stress the importance of it, it's obviously a rare commodity. In fact, in my case, I'm O negative, but for some reason I have neonatal blood, which means my blood can be used for babies. And I tend to think that that's a rather unique situation, and whenever I can donate, I do, and with my daughters.
I was actually led to giving blood by my father. He's been giving blood for some 40 years, and I really never paid too much attention to it, but I knew that he gave blood. And about 25 years ago, he started doing blood drives at his church. And I knew he did that too. But I really never paid real close attention to what it actually meant. And he'd always ask me, and I always had my 2 excuses. And my 2 excuses have always been, the fear of giving blood, the needle, and my other excuse was, I didn't have the time. But one day he asked me to give blood, and I really gave it some serious thought of what it really was, what it was it all about. And so I decided to do it, and I was pleasantly surprised what a big deal it is. You know, when I really thought my contribution to giving blood and saving lives, you know, I'm a firefighter, and that's my business, to save lives. And I thought, you know, if I give blood, it's something even greater. And so that's why I started giving blood. And so I'm a new donor. I've given blood a couple of times. I plan to continue to give blood. And I really plan to follow in my father's footsteps of being a blood donor for, you know, over 40 years. And, you know, sometimes I think that maybe it'd be a great thing that someday I can organize where other people come and give blood. So I look forward to that someday.
I have never been able to wake up every day and feel excited about coming to work or going to work as I have been here at the blood bank. Every day it's something new. You get to meet some of the most wonderful people in the world. Blood donors are just phenomenal. They take the time out of their lives, out of their days, to do something that nobody really wants to do, but they do it, and they come in and they save lives, and it makes a huge difference knowing that the people that you're going to have to deal with all day are going to be awesome people because they're lifesavers.
I work here because I believe in what we do here. There's no other business, I think, that we are in that is such a generous thing that people do for no compensation whatsoever, just because they think it's the right thing to do. And I think it brings out the best in people when they come to donate blood. They're happy, they're well, they're giving, and I really like that about what we do here.
Let's see, it was in my first year at the hospital. They called for blood, and I went in to give blood, and they offered me a job, and that was 20 years ago, and I'm still with the blood bank. So I started out with whole blood, and now I do platelet pheresis. My goal is to reach 200 by next year, 200 pints. So I'm excited about that.
If you've donated before, you generally know the positive experience that it is, and it's how worthy it is that you're doing something for your fellow man. And as we're doing these things and saving lives, it is basically something that we're finding a hero in ourselves by working on doing this donation and hopefully donations later. In other words, it's the idea is to keep on donating if it's physically something you can do, and remembering that you definitely are a hero and in yourself by doing this.
I would say to the donors, before I started working here, I didn't have a lot of knowledge of blood banking and what all went into it. But since I started here, I've become more educated, and I think a lot of people need to get out and get educated because we need the blood. I mean, I never would have thought I needed it, you know. So I'm just grateful for all the people that do come in and donate.
Just to think of what an impact they can have on another person's life, a whole family's life.
Just my donation really changes their life, and knowing that really helps me out, and I smile the rest of the day.
For someone that's never donated, I would say give it a shot. Give it a try. It's well worth it. They are just wonderful in there. They all care, and they're all very kind in the blood bank, and they make it worth your day.
They get weighted on hand and foot. Where else can you go with your feet kicked up, have somebody bringing you juice and cookies every time you want some? I don't think there's any other place in town but us.
Those of you that think you can't give it, ask, because you may be able to give it. A lot of you that may think that because you may not be in the best of health, still you may be able to give healthy blood, should I say. Those that have continuously given it, keep giving it, because those that, such as myself, are grateful for those that were there for me when I really needed it most.
Find the hero in you and come and donate. Bring some people with you too.
Thank you for saving my life.